Imagine China at the end of the 1800s, a land rich in culture and history, yet facing immense challenges. It was a tough time. The Qing Dynasty, which had ruled for centuries, was getting weak and struggling to maintain control. Other countries like England and France saw an opportunity. They wanted China's resources and new markets to sell their goods. They started taking control of parts of China and making unfair deals, exploiting the country's weakened state. This led to a big uprising called the Boxer Rebellion, a significant and violent movement against foreign influence. The Boxers, a secret group, didn't like what these other countries were doing, especially the spread of Christianity, which they saw as a threat to their traditions. They believed they had magic powers and couldn't be hurt by guns, which gave them a sense of invincibility. Lots of people joined them because they were angry at these other countries and felt their own government wasn't strong enough to protect them. The Boxer Rebellion was a really important event in China's history, marking a turning point in the nation's struggle against foreign domination. So why did the Boxer Rebellion happen? What were the underlying causes that led to such a significant uprising in China? Well, people in China were angry, they were frustrated, and felt oppressed by various factors. Countries like England, France, Japan, and others were taking more and more control of China. This foreign dominance was growing rapidly. They forced China to sign agreements that weren't fair. These treaties heavily favored the foreign powers and disadvantaged China. This made people feel like their country wasn't respected. The sense of national pride was deeply hurt. Also, Christian missionaries were coming to China, and some people saw them as helpers of these powerful countries. This added to the resentment. On top of all that, China's economy wasn't doing well. Economic hardships were widespread, affecting many lives. There were natural disasters and unfair rules that hurt regular people. These calamities made life even more difficult. They were angry, and many blamed the foreigners. The anti-foreign sentiment was growing stronger. The Qing Dynasty, China's government, seemed weak, and that made the Boxers' message even more popular. The perceived weakness of the government fueled the uprising. The Boxer Rebellion started getting really serious in 1899. At first, the fighting was mostly in Shandong province. The Boxers attacked Christian missionaries, Chinese people who had become Christian, and anything that represented other countries. The fighting got worse, and some people in the Qing government started to support the Boxers. In the summer of 1900, things got really bad. The Boxers, now with some of the Chinese army, attacked the places where people from other countries lived and worked in Beijing. This made other countries very angry. 8 countries teamed up and sent soldiers to China to stop the Boxers. The Boxer Rebellion was eventually stopped, but it caused big problems for China. The conflict left the country in ruins and deeply affected its people. The Qing Dynasty had to sign an agreement in 1901 that was very unfair. This agreement, known as the Boxer Protocol, imposed harsh penalties on China. China had to pay a lot of money to the other countries, and those countries were allowed to keep soldiers in China. This further weakened China's sovereignty. Even though the Boxers didn't win, the rebellion changed China. It sparked a sense of urgency among the people. It made people feel more patriotic. The desire to protect their homeland grew stronger. It also showed everyone how weak the Qing dynasty was. The ruling government was unable to defend the nation effectively. People wanted a stronger, more modern government. They began to push for significant political reforms. The Qing dynasty was eventually overthrown in 1911, and China became a republic. This marked the end of centuries of imperial rule. The Boxer Rebellion was a very important event that shaped China's future. It set the stage for the dramatic changes that followed in the 20th century.